Background. I was raised by a bunch of young hippies, and I was the only child, but we were raised as a group of children. There was loose structures and no real routine that I can remember. My dad had decided not to participate in my upbringing and abandoned me. My mother was a poor student in a small college town in Northern California. One of my first memories is being left alone in a park to play while my mom did some school paperwork. She was gone far too long, and I was 5 years old. I went looking for her, and I got lost. A police officer found me, and my mother was angry at me. I remember being sad and confused. Me and the other children were also victims of a sexual predator. He was a friend of the young hippies that were either too stoned or intoxicated or too naive to notice that the abuse was going on. Hundreds of children in that area were abused by this man. For me, the abuse was as long as I can remember to age 7 when we moved to another town. I escaped my often confusing, stressful upbringing with creative daydreaming and with art. My nervous system and my immune system were affected and still are. The limbic system is often called the emotional brain. It controls many of the most fundamental emotions and drives for survival. The limbic system initiates the fight, flight, or freeze response to threat. The amygdala and the hippocampus are part of the limbic system. A study by Teacher et al. Found that 38% increased rate of limbic abnormalities follow physical abuse, 49% after sexual abuse, and 113% follow abuse of more than one type combined. Social learning theory is a factor on how I was raised and the understanding or misunderstanding because of the neglect and lack of attention that somehow this was the way that things were. This is what my childhood brain thought. My mother was often stressed out, busy, or intoxicated or stoned. My hobbies and passions. I love art. I'm an artist. As a child, I escaped into fantasy worlds of imagination and creativity. This has been a lifelong companion and therapy for me. I paint and draw, and my associate's degree is in fine art. One of my passions is helping others in my program of recovery. I've been in recovery for 9.5 years, and it is my support system and family of choice for me. I spend endless hours in meetings and helping others along with doing service work. Again, social learning theory can apply to recovering along with behavioral theories, Erickson. The negative consequences were insane asylums or jail for me. This was an adverse stimuli. Punishment for my behavior of addiction, if it continued, was grave. Daily routine. My daily routine can be diverse. I am a supermom. I share custody of my 2 teenagers at home, a girl 14 years old and a boy 16 years old. I work full-time, I go to school full-time, and my children are athletes. My daughter is a cheerleader and on the track team. My son is a college-bound athlete and a star running back for high school varsity football team. They won the championship last season. He also plays club ball privately and is on the track team. My day starts up around 5 a.m., and most of the time it's nonstop until 11:30 p.m. I go to every one of my son's games and track meets, even if they are out of town. I fit my studies and recovery and my boyfriend in along with my close and embrace friends the ups and downs of raising teenagers. I also have a 21-year-old son that is away at college and will be receiving his master's degree in June after 4 years of attendance. Again, another one of my children is talented and smart. I just saw him perform in Los Angeles a few weeks ago. I am a super mom indeed, and a mom that helps other women in need that need help also. My children will learn many things from me. Though I'm not perfect, I'm present for their life and their events. My mother lacked in this department in my upbringing. I have made sure that me and my children talk about abuse. They go to support groups themselves. They attend Alateen once per week at Betty Ford Children's Center. Social learning theory applies. I learned my new support group from my new support group, how to parent differently, and to teach that to my children. Frustrations and emotional buttons. Still, my relationship with my mom is strained and at times difficult. I work closely with a therapist to sort these things out. I do suffer from PTSD as a result of the abuse that I suffered. my believed intelligence in online learning. My scores are very, very high. Linguistics, 67%, logical mathematical, 88%, visual spatial, 83%, interpersonal, 75%, interpersonal, 100%, musical, 56%, body and kinesthetic, 58%, naturalistic, 58%. Because my intelligence is high in several areas, learning online has been easy to accomplish. This material and time management is not always easy, but so the hard part for me is because I am interpersonal 100%, which means I am highly social. I would benefit much more with an actual classroom. However, life has its demands. I'm so grateful for online learning, and it's also my greatest victory. Because of all the adversity, I am a woman of substance and character that helps others that are in need like I was. I like who I am today.